guys. Our topic today is we're talking about how most leaders struggle with motivation. And then what they struggle with motivation is they're trying to get clear about things. And what I want you to take away today as we go through a couple different things that I've got in my outline for you is that clarity comes from action. And most of us early in our leadership career in our journey before we get going and some of the struggles and the ceilings of achievement that we're trying to break through that we get stuck on, we're trying to figure out too much, then we're going to get into action. It's kind of this destination disease thing where when we get here we'll know this, or when we get here we'll have that, and we do that along of our journey. And what I want today for you to really take away, if you don't take away anything else from what we're talking about, is I want you to take this away. And that is get clear right off the bat that you don't like where you currently are at. Get clear with the why you want to move, not the how or all the other stuff. Get clear with the why. And when you get clear with the why, you'll get into action and you will find out all the hows along the way. But if you're not clear enough and the why isn't big enough, you won't figure out the how. So let's jump into this. So we're going to talk today. We're not going to talk about a strategy. We're not going to talk about you're broken. We're not going to talk about all the things to kind of put more weight on you. No, we're going to talk about clarity comes before production. Clarity comes before you start achieving. And it comes because you're in movement. So alignment is what you've got to be at. Like align with where it is you want to go. In my activities aligned with where it is I want to go? Is my thinking aligned with where I want to go? Is is the is where I want to go, is it going to make it keep me in alignment with who I am and my core values? Get aligned with that, get clear with that part. Don't really worry about the hows. Please don't worry about the hows because what you think the hows are and what you're putting all this time in the hows right now, you're doing it based on your intelligence, your growth level of where you currently are at. And if you had the answers right now, if you had the answers, you'd already have the results. So stop putting so much pressure about getting clear about the answers right now. Just get clear of, I want that. And I'm not letting whatever obstacle, whatever thing is in my way to get in my way and stop me. I want that. And I don't know when I'm going to get it, but I'm going to get it. And if we get clear just on that particular moment, we can start moving our things down. So sometimes the illusion of thinking that we find ourselves in, and this is what I'm finding with some clients as we walk through this, is thinking sometimes feels like movement. And a couple of my clients are probably on this call right now, and they've heard me say this before. And that's where we get into a certain spot of our conversations where I start asking them this question. I kind of, we get to a point where they've got lots of stuff going on, lots of things that they're achieving. And and we get into this simple little moment of where are we mistaking achievement with movement? Or are we mistaking that some of our movement is that we're achieving things at a high level? Are we confusing those two things at times? Because we are good at doing, but we haven't really arrived yet. So over analysis sometimes protects our ego. Sometimes when we're over analyzing something and we're thinking too much, it gives us that spot where we're like, oh, it's okay that we're not there. It's okay, Mike, you haven't gotten there because we're still thinking, we're still putting plans. It protects our ego when really we're not there yet because we haven't moved. So the delay of overthinking sometimes gets us into a real safe mode. So what are you waiting for? Or what are you waiting to feel certain about before you act? So ask yourself that right now in the mode you're in, what comes to your mind right now, that what are you waiting for clarity to feel certain on before you act? Think about that. So the three pillars of clarity, this is where I want you to be, is understand this. The three pillars of clarity is number one is humility. Where might you be wrong? Where might you maybe not be doing the right things? Where are you showing levels of humility in your thinking and in your planning and where you currently are at. You've got to know where you're at to really understand how you're going to get to where it is you want to go. You can have all the I know where I want to go things, but if you're not clear with where you're at, you're not showing a level of humility about where you're at and where your shortcomings are, it's hard to get that there. So that's the first pillar. The second pillar is reality. What is actually true? What is actually true about your your process, your activities, your things that have got you here versus where it is you want to go? What's actually true? What are you doing? And then the third pillar is responsibility. What part of what is going on is really part of you? What is in your control? 100% in your control of the got you where you're at. There's all kinds of things that are external. But lots of times we put so much weight on the external stuff, but what truly is in your control that if you did, you could move on there. So those are the three pillars of clarity. So if we can get really clear with those things and really start pushing ourselves to those, we'll get a little clearer. The next part is identity connection. Sometimes clarity is hard because growth requires an identity shift. Sometimes it requires us to stop hanging with certain people that we're doing, stop listening to certain people in our family or our friends or what it's about really getting in and going, I need to shift my identity. And it goes back to what I said a little bit ago. If you were already acting and doing and all of that you were performing at this high level that you're after, you'd already have it, but you don't, but you want it. So you have to shed some things to move there. So it's okay to realize and to be clear and to announce that you've outgrown something. It doesn't mean what you've outgrown is bad. It's not. What you've outgrown isn't going to get you where you want to go. It was sufficient. It was something you needed to grow into to get to here. But now that you're here, you need more. So it's okay to acknowledge that you've outgrown something. Um, but what have you outgrown that you haven't released yet? That's a good one. Like, what have you outgrown that you still keep carrying with you? You keep pulling it along, and you know that, hey, I I need to release this. So really what it boils down to is you don't need more clarity. You need to make one honest decision. And that is around what am I carrying that doesn't serve me anymore that I need to release so that I can move into the identity and the activities that I need to be to go where it is I want to go. So here's some reflection questions I want for you guys. Like I brought this up a little bit ago. I want you to reflect on this is what are you tolerating? What are you currently tolerating that isn't serving you to where it is you want to go? Again, it was probably necessary to get you here. And it probably had a major role in getting you here. So you don't want to let go of it the way you don't want to well, you do want to let go of it, but you don't want to let go of it in a way of like, get it away from me. Like, this was awful. You want to let go of it going, hey, I'm acknowledging that it was sufficient. I'm giving it its due. I'm giving it credit, but it's not what I need to do now. And some of those things are the opportunities for leverage. It's opportunities to delegate to other people because they were necessary. So, what is it you've got going on there? And then the next question I want you to look at is what decision have you postponed? What decision keeps coming up and you're like kicking that can down the road going, "Hey, I'll get to that," or "I'll put it off," or "I'm not ready yet," or we'll talk about that in the spring. Now, what decision are you postponing? And again, another what no longer fits who you want to become and who you are becoming. What no longer fits. So spend some time with that. Let those questions land with you. Let them nurture a little bit. Write down, spend some time in silence and write what comes to your mind. Sometimes you got to write some things down to those, take a break, come back to it with a little bit of a different perspective and answer them again. I hope that these calls that we're doing on Wednesdays, I hope these little brief little teachings, these little bit of a different perspective and some of the things that are helping you in finding ways for you to impact and move yourself. Um, but if you're feeling like, hey, I need a little extra help, jump on a call, get with me. I'll do whatever it takes to help you gain some clarity and help you map out the journey you need to take to get to the destination you're looking to get to. We'll identify obstacles, we'll identify some opportunities, and we'll put together a little bit of an action plan of what it is you want to need to do to get to where it is you want to go. So get on a call with me. I would love to do a success call with you, break things down and go through. One thing I will tell you is that nobody I'm not a coach. I'm not a speaker, a trainer, anyone that's out there that tells you, here's your growth in a box. I don't believe there's one plan for everyone. I think what we need to do is we need to get clear with some of the things that are in our way, some of the things we want, some of our values. We got to get clear with all of that kind of stuff that takes time to get to, and then we'll craft a journey. We'll craft the steps to get you there and how to do it. And the only way to do that, to know, is you get into action and you're applying some of these tools, different things that are going on. And we're going to find the thing that works for you and eliminate the things that are dragging you. So clarity comes not by changing everything. It rarely comes from thinking harder. It comes from getting clear with you saying, I don't want to be here anymore. And that clarity is a decision, making a choice to say, I don't want this anymore. When you get clear on that, we can gain and get you clear on the whole process as we go. But that first step is where you need to get clear with. Get clear with, I want more than I currently have. I want to be a better leader. I want to be a better communicator. I want this because this will do this. When you're clear on that, we could do all the rest. Mic drop.